Okay, the OKC Thunder have made it to the NBA Finals, guys. And I mean, this is really no one's surprise. They won 68 games in the regular season, and they're probably the most offensive and defensive sound team in the league. Postseason run has been pretty chill. I mean, the only bad thing is the 7-game series with the Denver Nuggets, but when they got to that elimination game, they absolutely smacked the Denver Nuggets. I mean, they really showed what they could do if they played good basketball. And I think this team playing at 80% or better is the most unstoppable team in the league. I mean, they really showed their true colors against the Denver Nuggets, because when they actually started playing on-ball and off-ball pressure well, as well as scoring the ball well and efficiently, especially from the three-point line, I mean, they win games. They just win games. And I think the best example of this would be Game 2 against the Denver Nuggets. They shot 44% from the three-point line, and they shot 56% from the field. They made their mid-range shots, their inside shots, and their outside shots. If you want to win games, they have to make their shots. And when they're making shots, this team is absolutely flawless. They also held the Denver Nuggets to under 40% that game. I think their on-ball pressure was perfect, and I think this is the OKC Thunder at their very best. Okay, really getting into the defensive side of things, I think that is the main agenda for this OKC Thunder team. They're probably one of the greatest defensive teams of the modern NBA. I'm not kidding. Okay, we're going to look at turnovers first. If this OKC Thunder team makes the opposing team turn over the ball 14 or more times, they are 11-3. They need to have the opposing team turn over the ball to win games. This team needs to have good on-ball pressure as well as pass deflections and covering their gaps quickly. Overall, having a higher possibility to lead to more turnovers. Additionally, on the defensive side of things, this team is 10-1 when they get 10 or more steals a game. This obviously leads to more turnovers as well. Okay, on the offensive side of things, I think they need to pass the ball well. When this team gets 20 or more assists, they are 11-3 in the playoffs. With more assists, there's more players getting their own shot and helping with confidence in an all-around team setting. Also, Shea and Jalen Williams have a deadly mid-range shot. If they can pass the ball well, and both these players can create for themselves in the mid-range, then they can score more efficient buckets more often. For example, in Game 2 against the Timberwolves, both of these players shot better than 55% from the field. They had 30 assists as a team. When these players can find their shot and their teammates can create the chances for them, then they can score buckets more efficiently, shooting 50% from the field that game as a team. Relating back to turnovers, if they force the Pacers to turn the ball over more, they can match the intensity of pace that the Pacers play with. This is due to the increased amount of runs that they will have, which can lead to a higher chance of fast break points. I think this can really help the Thunder because it can give them higher quality buckets more often, like more 2-on-1 opportunities or 3-on-2 opportunities that can lead to better scoring chances.
Memphis Grizzlies offense. Tap from behind for SGA to get going.
Breather here, Pippen, errant pass, poked away. Allen Wiggins tracks it down, and he's headed to the...
Wow, both of those were actually great examples of what I'm talking about. That last play was literally a 2-on-1 opportunity that they got an and one on. I mean, he could have easily passed it to Jalen Williams that was running with him, but he took it himself and he actually scored. In conclusion, I think the most important parts of this team is finding their shot, defensive pressure, and scoring on runs. All these things really make the Thunder dominant in their respective abilities, and I believe that this elevates them to that championship that the organization has been dreading for years. Okay, next we have the Indiana Pacers, who made the NBA Finals from the 4th seed. Very impressive, actually. I think the best thing that this team has is an offensive motor. They just keep going, and they do not stop. Like the name of this team, the Indiana Pacers have an absolutely insane pace. They're top 2 in pace with 100.6 pace per game. I think someone really needs to get a tracker of how much this team goes on runs. This team goes on a 15-0 run, 10-0 run, literally every single game. They do not back down. When the other team goes on a run, they answer right back with a run of their own. I think this is literally straightly directed from the fast break points that they score. In the Knicks series, they outscored the Knicks 60-16 in fast break points across all of the 6 games that they played. That difference is incredible. They move the ball down the floor so quickly. And these are all quality shots that they get from their fast break. Normally it ends in a layup or it ends in a 2v1, 3v2 situation. I think this is what can guide them to win games. They average about 12.7 turnovers per game in the playoffs. I think this is decent. This is not as much as the OKC Thunder though. But I think with these turnovers, if they turn these into fast break points, then I think they can run up the score against OKC well. Also, I think what the Pacers should do against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is pick him up at the three-point line. When the Minnesota Timberwolves did this for the first time, they won the game by 40 points. I mean, if you stop their best player from scoring, then you have a good chance of winning. So basically, they want to get beat by OKC, not by Shai. And I think Andrew Nembhard can do this assignment perfectly. He's a great perimeter defender that can hawk the ball on the outside well. Also, this Indiana Pacers team is extremely streaky. When they can hit their three-point shots, they just keep hitting their three-point shots. This team is 9-0 in the playoffs if they shoot 40% or better from the three-point line. 9-0. Like, they are undefeated if they shoot above 40%. So literally, if they're making their three-point shots at a high efficient rate, this team cannot be stopped. This Pacers team is also 13-1 if they get 25 or more assists in a game. That win percentage is phenomenal. They literally just need to move the ball around in a team setting and trust each other with their shots, and they win. They win games. Also, there's that crazy stat. They're like 2-780 in the last minute, like, of the game, down 7 or some shit like that. Like, as a Bucks fan, this team has traumatized me. They literally came back in 40 seconds. 40 seconds. Like, they're so clutch.
Halliburton on a skip. And there, fast break opportunities, just 3 fast break points. Halliburton, and he buries another 3.
All in all, I think this team needs to connect on their three-pointers and pass the ball efficiently and trust each other with their shots. I think that doing this, they can overcome OKC's defensive pressure and offensively outrun the OKC Thunder team.
He's headed to the free throw line.
Okay, and this leads to the Pacers versus the OKC Thunder in the NBA Finals. If you told me this was going to happen 5 months ago, I probably wouldn't believe you, to be honest. I think this is a matchup of pace and offensive motor versus a very structured and oriented defense. I legitimately think this is a great matchup. This is going to be really fun to watch in the NBA Finals. I think that if you don't think this is going to be fun, then you don't like basketball. I'm just kidding, but no, this is going to be a really good matchup. Personally, my take is that OKC wins in 6. And I think this due to OKC's defensive ability. I think it is greater than the Pacers, and I think their offense can just match the Pacers. Even though both of these teams are very deep and have been built off draft and trade structure, I think that OKC's is slightly better. They have both shooters and great off-ball defenders off the bench. Alex Caruso is actually one of the better perimeter defenders in the league, and Cason Wallace is really making a point of how dominant he is as a spot-up shooter. But the scoring ability of Shai is just greater than Tyrese Haliburton's or Pascal Siakam's. I think they really work through him, and if Shai is really getting to his shots against the Indiana Pacers, then I think that it's going to just edge them out to win more. Furthermore, I think both of these teams are very good at going on runs. They can really crawl back if they're down by double-digit points, or they can shoot themselves further ahead to find their shot, eventually building their lead greater. But anyways, I think this is going to be a very, very fun finals to watch. It's going to be a very fast-paced, defensive-oriented game that could really test the limits of both teams, eventually crowning the winner, which I think will be the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching.
Outside of Wallace. That's good from the outside. Cason Wallace with the 3.